Druddigon is a Pokemon that you most likely haven't seen yet in the GO Battle League. Today is going to change because this Pokemon is actually absolutely amazing in this current championship series meta. And I want to show you why. This Pokemon has great coverage. With this recent update basically towards Pokemon GO PvP for the season, Druddigon got a lot more play. This Pokemon has access to Dragon Tail, a move that got changed this season, same as Dragon Breath, which you see on Altaria, which is going to allow you to generate energy quite a bit faster while not doing as much damage. But we don't actually really need the damage from the Dragon Tail, it still chunks away, which you see as well against the Gudra. But what we want to have with the Dragon Tail is the energy generation, and this is where this Pokemon comes in clutch. This Pokemon recently only got added Rock Tomb on it, and Rock Tomb is one of the strongest moves in the game, being able to not only do some solid damage, but also being able to do the debuff onto the opponent, which can change entire matchups. And this is kinda where Druddigon comes in. This thing is here to be a bait. This thing is here to get out Pokemon that you don't want to face with an Altaria. Pokemon like Ice types, where you're going to have a Rock Tomb. Pokemon like Oranguru, where you're going to have Night Slash, and Pokemon like Claydol, or Claydol you can kind of deal with as well, but also I mean mainly something like Batang or the Bronzong, which you're going to have Night Slash for as well. And so this sets kind of the tone on what this Pokemon is supposed to do. And here I should almost say stayed in for a little bit, because the opponent has Gyarados, but actually the Bronzong outspeeds it with Psyshock to that, at least, like they would outspeed us to Orca Tail, but we outspeed them before they would get to the opposing Crunch, which does more damage, is super effective. They would always go for that anyway. Here we even get the attack boost with the Night Slash, which is kind of funny. We got both shields from the opponent, and we will take this advantage. Why? Because we have one Pokemon on this team here that is absolutely fantastic, nearly broken in this meta. A Pokemon that I was even coaching with as well this morning, and player got over, I think, around 200 points actually gained with a very similar team to this one, very similar. But yeah, we see here already what Bronzong can do. One-shotting Pokemon. Bronzong, the Bell, is honestly such an amazing Pokemon in the current meta. This thing has access to, you know, the Metal Sound, which got added quite long ago, but the main thing why this Pokemon is so great in this current meta is Psyshock and the pacing, as well as the Dark type coverage which is needed in this meta. It's going to function as an anti-Oranguru Pokemon, while this is not always going to be the case. And of course, those are early battles I did in this cup, and this means as well that Shadow Pokemon is still available. At this point of time, they still are. I'm not too sure when this is ever going to change. I hope it's going to change because it's reflecting bad, well, like worse compared to like what's supposed to be happening, because it's also the meta that's going to be played at the LAIC, and people just cannot prepare right now because guess what? Shadow Pokemon can kind of perform quite differently compared to non-Shadow, which you see exactly here. The opponent's Annihilate was able to farm us down here. The non-Shadow variant cannot. So the pure scenario there, for example, Bronzong, this team in general, is designed for a meta where Shadows are not allowed, and with Shadows being allowed here, currently at least, it makes it all a little bit more awkward because this Annihilate would have not existed. This Abomasnow would have not existed, even though this Abomasnow will also not exist anymore, as a Flamethrower is going to land against it. But we're in such a bad spot right now. We're in such a bad spot. Why? Because there are Pokemon that we didn't build against. Like honestly, like Annihilate Shadow is such a big difference compared to the normal one, because yeah, we would have been able to just literally knock them out there. Instead, they knocked me out. They were able to get out of there with energy, still low of health, and that is changing the game. And this is something that is just not really cool, because we couldn't really prepare directly for this cup now. Sorry for that, that was a spoon. We're going to be able to now go ahead and go for the Sky Attack. They'll knock them out. But if you actually caught the move there, the one Brutal Swing that I tried to catch that failed, I would have been able to win this battle still. So now to the secret hero of this team. It is Bronzong. I assume after this video, I don't know, like the usage of Bronzong is absolutely going to increase. Bronzong is by far the best Pokemon that I had in this meta so far. I did play only 4 teams so far. Bronzong is ridiculous. Bronzong is broken. I would even nearly consider to say this thing is just amazing. It is super, super good. But here we're gonna see as well what Druddigon can do. Druddigon is amazing as well. Druddigon is a very good chaser, but here we see again and yet another Pokemon that shouldn't be allowed, but that is allowed. Annihilate. And Shadow Annihilate, again, as we said already earlier, has quite some different matchups. For example, against the normal one, I would have most stayed on shield here. Even if it's an Ice Punch, it does only around like 50% health. Not too much. We are bulky Altaria. But as a Shadow one, with all the fast move damage already, the most stay would have knocked us out here. And that is going to be a big difference, as we will see here the Talonflame coming in. I was able to catch a move. It was not the move that I expected though. It was a Flame Charge. And I am getting too greedy. I thought I'd still survive another fast move, trying to get up to a Rock Tomb, then realizing that's not gonna work, and now I'm in a bad position. But weirdly enough, they go for the Flame Charge. And why the hell is our Altaria using Moonblast? There were like 1 or 2 battles where I had the wrong Altaria in. I'm sorry for that. I just, of course, did play the games. It's barely a difference because you most of the time go for a Sky Attack anyway. We already saw the Flamethrower earlier. Flamethrower, of course, is what you want to go for. It's a mistake they have the Moonblast version there. Alright. Oranguru. How do you deal with this Pokemon? I usually bait first. That being said, now with the video here and for the people that are watching, as an Oranguru player, I would assume a lot of people just no shield the first one then, but it's quite common practice here so far to shield the first one, and then actually you have it quite easily. You could have even just went straight for the payback. I decided to go for another bait, which works out great, but also we have now, I think, an CMP tile, which I don't really like that much because we lose them, and we just gave them a free shield that we could have avoided, or at least got some energy advantage. But in comes the Claydol, and now we have the Druddigon. Claydol has access to definitely Rock Tomb, but 90% of the times also Ice Beam, which is going to be making this matchup quite impossible for our Altaria. Druddigon, of course, has Ice type coverage, but they are undercharged, and they undercharge a tiny bit too much, which now allows us to go for another Night Slash to knock out this Druddigon. And so it's, or like, basically gets him to 1 HP, and now it's basically just, yeah, Altaria against the Claydol. Let's see who's gonna be able to win this. Can we take a hit? It is going to be the opponent's Ice Beam, and we can take that hit. And that is important, because it's still going to have to hit them back. We're going to go for a Sky Attack here. This is going to be, of course, no shield, because they don't have shields left anymore. And we're going to get them super, super low. And that is perfect, as you can now let the move go through from the opponent. This is going to be the Rock Tomb coming in, and I will be able to go for a Psyshock. The Psyshock is now actually at a position where we are going to be able to just KO them, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face the Gardevoir, the Shadow Gardevoir. Again, yet another Pokemon that you very likely will never face as soon as the Shadow Pokemon are disappeared. And this is like the thing here again. The meta is going to shift quite a bit. The meta is not going to stay like this. It's definitely not going to stay like this. And I do think that the Shadows are going to be banned. At this point, it might be already the case. Like, I'm recording this basically, yeah, the morning after the cup dropped, just to produce for you either for the evening of this day or for the morning of the next day. So yeah, stay tuned for when this video comes on. But I hope that this is gonna get changed, because it is kind of impactful. And as you're gonna see as well, we're going to have to deal still with this Gardevoir. What we can do is we can go ahead and go into our Bronzong. This thing can take a hit, unless it's a Shadow Ball, and this is what also most of those Gardevoir are bringing. But they are running Triple Axle, and that is fine. I don't mind that. I'm alright with that. The thing is here though, we are going to be in a position where I am going to be forced to let this move go. And I have to shield this now. I don't shield this. Is that too risky? It is not. I can still survive. And with that, this is going to be, yeah, a Night Slash coming through. We are going to be able to get some damage in. And we are going to be able to now shield this move up. And this is going to be absolutely perfect. We are going to be able to now get out the Psyshock against the opponent's Gardevoir. And as long as we're going to be able to outspeed, we are going to be able to win this one. As you're going to see as well, Oranguru is going to be able to now, yeah, go down from his Psyshock. And we can move on to the next battle. So, let's take a look here at the next one. We're going to have here the Druddigon coming in. This is absolutely alright for us, as we are going to be able to go ahead and go for the Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is going to drop the attack from the opponent. And that's exactly what I kind of want to do, because now I am actually capable of forcing a shield back from them, and I might even be able to force 2 shields, because what we see here right now is I have 2 Night Slashes stored. And with this, I have a question for you. What is your favorite Spice Pick Pokemon that you feel like other people don't appreciate enough, that you like to run? Like for me, I like Druddigon a lot here in this team, of course, which is a Pokemon that you would never really see. And I think it's a Pokemon that most people did not really expect to be that great. And so yeah, we're going to have, you know, the Tornado against us. We still should be hopefully able to take, yeah, a charge move there as well. I think a Dragon Claw is not going to be enough. Dragon Pulse could be a little bit more tricky. But as you can see here, the Dragon Claw is not going to be enough to knock us out. We are going to be able to go for the Sky Attack though, in order to get the KO. And this is going to allow us now to swap out against that Celio into our Bronzong. But can we actually win this? This is going to be the question. It's going to be very, very close. As we will see here, the opponent is going to be able to still take even another charge move there. And this is going to be awkward, as now we are going to try our best to go for another move here. But as you see as well, there's going to be the Self coming through. We're going to be able to go for another charge move. This is working out quite well for us, as the Side Shock is going to allow us to get them super, super low enough that we can farm down. And we can move on to the second to last battle. So, next up, we are going to have here now the Oranguru. The Oranguru is going to be a Pokemon that, of course, is going to be a bit awkward, but we saw already early on how to play against it. What we want to do is we kind of want to bait. We're going to be able to go for 3 fast moves, we're going to go for the bait, and with that, we are going to be able to now get the shield from the opponent. And this is perfect, because now I can use my own shield, and my own shield is what I want to use, as we are going to be able to go for another charge move. This charge move is going to allow us now as well to get a KO, and the opponent didn't expect this one at all. There is going to be now the Side Shock coming back in again, and this is going to allow us to get even more damage onto that Gyarados as he swap out of here. I expected they might be very weak to me in the back, and this is exactly why we did this, because there is going to be that Yurong in the back, and we needed to get out our Druddigon, because Druddigon is at least able to deal with it. Druddigon is going to be able to just go ahead and at least get the debuff onto them, and now having the Bronzong aligned. And this is going to be super important, because we need alignment here in order to deal with it. As you can see here, we're going to have the Side Shot coming through. It's going to do nearly enough damage to two-shot them as they swap out. And this is going to be scary now. The Gyarados comes in, and I am not charged. Why? Because I need energy on my Altaria. And this is fine. They can go for the charge move. I don't really care too much. But trust me if I say I will get damage from that Altaria. We are going to be able to now go for the shield against them. We are going to have the Ice Beam coming through, and I still am able to go for the Sky Attack, which now allows us to win this battle, and we can move on to the next opponent. So, next opponent, we're going to have here Talonflame lead. That's bad, of course. We're going to see the swap out into the Jumpluff, but of course, Jumpluff is going to be a Pokemon that is going to not enjoy the Rock Tomb that much, and so we're going to be actually quite alright. We will see here that there is going to be another charge move coming through. This is going to be the Aerial Ace, and we can go for another shield, maybe? No, we're gonna let this move go. It's gonna be Aerial Ace. We're just gonna use my Bronzong in order to get a ton of energy. This is the thing as well. We are not really in a position where we need to worry about anything. We are just going to be able to just go for the Side Shock and do some damage against the Talonflame, swap out, and we're going to keep alignment at least here now at this point. Like, the alignment is alright for us. We have the Talonflame with a very tough lead for us, aligned against the Altaria, but they're actually even gonna bait me here, which is kind of, annoying, because now they got the attack boost. We can go for the Sky Attack. They are going to use a shield here. I was expecting that they would have a Brave Bird basically instead of the Flame Charge, and there is Brave Bird and Flame Charge apparently. Alright, we're gonna swap out here to the Togetic, which is perfect because we can take the hits, and we're gonna be able to do some nice damage against them as well. As we are now going to see as well that this is going to be a bit awkward. They're still going to have some health, they're still going to be able to go for another charge move, and this Aerial Ace is going to be quite a bit to take. As we'll see, there's going to be the Aerial Ace coming back in again, and it's going to get us lower and lower, but we can go for the full farm down here now as they stop out into the Talonflame. It looks like that Bronzong itself is going to be able to take home this game, and they just forfeited, and we can move on now to the next opponent. I actually had to do a little cut there because there was like a lot in between, and usually I just record my battles individually. Yesterday I was so tired. I was like, again, for me, I don't know when you actually see this one, but basically I played those battles directly after the league dropped. This is kind of where I played those battles. For me, that's 10 PM my time. I'm tired then, and I sometimes fall asleep on battles, and in between there was just like a minute of nothing because I think I just fell asleep and woke back up and tried to do this battle now. Let's see if I can win it though. We're going to have the Oranguru against us. I can go into the Bronzong. I am going to be able to take a hit here. First hit you kind of want to take as well. And now it's just going to be a bit more of a guessing game. And go for the Side Shock, which is the smart play, because at the end of the day, we just want to get either the shields or get them low. I could swap out into my Altaria, but I decided to let the move go and just do everything for the Altaria to win. as we see the Fearow. I fear Fearow. Why? Because Fearow is fast. Fast and furious is Fearow, as we will see the Sky Attack coming through now. This is going to be just enough to get the shield. And as we'll see next, there's going to be actually the Moonblast still on my Altaria, which is not the correct move. Good job me. Have I said I was tired at that point? Yeah, that was just not the right Pokemon to run. And now we're in a position where I am, not able to win. I would have needed to stop out of here to try to catch the move and try to knock them out with that. But even at that point, I highly doubt that I would have been able to win this battle here. With Gyarados being that low, they would have knocked us out anyway. Yeah, there's no way I could have won this final one. Hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like. A very strong team. Or like one of my strongest teams so far. And again, I coached a very similar team up 200 plus points. By the way, if you're interested in coaching, link down below. And I will see you then. Bye bye.